cross-posted from my blog. Sign up to the newsletter, there to hear about future projects. I thought I'd share how Spinnortality's launch went. Let's get right to the chase, shall we? I am free to reveal my sales numbers since neither-edged. I own no Steam, as of last year, forbid me from doing so why not? In its first week, Spinnortality sold about 7,000 copies on Steam, and 33 on itch. It made about $70,000 on Steam. Bear in mind, they take a hefty cut of that. I am not sure how much it made on itch, but I think it was around $300. It has now, 1 month after launch, sold nearly 9,000 copies on Steam and itch combined, for a total of $90. But let's work with the first sales week figures for now. A few people have asked me how many wishlists I had prior to launch, and the breakdown of sales by system, PC, Mac or Linux. I set up the Steam page in March 2018, and started encouraging people to wishlist. This meant the game's wishlists grew slowly over time. By launch, there were about 2. Now, there are about 20. Who I expect could be tempted to buy the game with sales. According to Steam, I have sold 421 Mac copies and 202 X copies out of the current total of 9,000. So almost all of my sales are for Windows copies. I suspect more itch.io copies were bought by Linux players, but I am not sure how to verify that. There does not seem to be how many people downloaded the Linux version versus Windows version. 2. I live in Europe, so let's convert that into euros. That's about 61,500. After Steam's cut, taxes, net and my revenue split with my music composer, I am left with about 21,000. I need about 1,200 per month to live. So that's 80 months of runway to make my next game, as long as I do not spend money on freelancers. Spoiler alert, I probably will. Note that this will be complicated by the fact that, under Austrian law, the amount I pay for health and pension insurance scales with my income. I honestly do not understand this yet and need to look into it more, so that 80 months estimate will certainly shrink. However, word on the street is that a game's total sales in its first year are roughly double what it makes in launch week, so I can expect to make about 120k in 2019, which will shrink to about 35k. That's about 40 months runway. But, again, health and pension insurance. I do not want to get into specific numbers, especially since a lot of people deliberately give me amazingly cheap deals because they liked me and believed in the game. But my total costs for commissioning the trailer, PR freelancers and the German translation came to roughly 8,000. Note this does not include the costs of traveling to cons or other stuff like buying a new laptop. I also did not spend any money on ads, which some devs might want to. First, I have enough money to make more games. Yay. I am still working out what those games will be, though. I think I got lucky with Spinnortality's launch, and I cannot necessarily count on that luck a second time. Bear in mind, it will take me at least a year to make the next game, maybe more, so I need that runway. Second, the game has done well, but not unbelievably well. It's no Minecraft, certainly, but the sales numbers are as good as they could possibly be. I think this is a first-time game from a relatively unknown person, with very little PR footprint, a established reputation. I was honestly expecting these numbers to be half what they are. I am amazed that the game has got coverage in publications as varied as The Standard and Rock Paper Shotgun. Bottom line, the indie apocalypse, whatever we call the increasingly crowded indie space, has not made it impossible for newcomers to successfully break into the field. But I suspect a lot of that was down to the people who supported me. Particular opportunities that came up which may not be reproducible for others. And luck. After getting lucky and benefiting from all those things, I have now made enough money to keep doing what I love. But without a huge financial cushion. That's okay, and I can work with that. But I am a little nervous about the future now. You can learn more about Spinnortality here, on its Steam page. And if you do like to know what I get up to next, you can sign up to my blog, or follow me on Twitter. In the wake of the big, unresolved dispute between SpatialOS Dev Improbable and Unity, CryEngine maker Crytek has reaffirmed its commitment to providing an open platform in a post on its website. The post restates two main points that the company brought up in a post last week, that it is working closely with Improbable to create a gig for CryEngine, and that the upcoming CryEngine-based battle royale game from Automation will use SpatialOS to power its 1000-player brawls. Crytek says that its efforts to ensure CryEngine supports open development and its partnership with Improbable both aim at the development process for devs that use CryEngine and resect interoperability between platforms, software, and services. This is all in service of a simple principle: developers come first, and developers do their best work when they are free to choose from the best range of tools. Says the post. We are proud to partner with Improbable, but we want it to be the start of something bigger. We want to work with other technologists, toolmakers, and developer services to create a best-in-class and ever-improving experience. For a game about piloting giant mechs, it sure feels good to run around on foot in Titanfall. Well, maybe not on foot exactly, since when you are outside your Titan, you will mostly be leaping through the air and running along walls. This is a game in which you can traverse levels at fantastic speed and explore their full vertical heights, using a moveset which not only rewards skill, but is also surprisingly intuitive to grasp. And it feels great, even with a gamepad. Titanfall is a model of first-person fluidity and precision on gamepad, while also capturing a sense of your pilot's and Titan's physical body. This moveset and sense of motion emerged from the first-person shooter greats. Both Titanfall, which was released in March 2014, and its sequel, which was released in October 2016, were built in heavily adapted versions of the source engine, and therefore inherit the fundamental control systems of Half-Life 2. But in sculpting the game's actual feel, developer Respawn was also looking back to another classic, Halo Combat Evolved. It's still the gold standard, says senior software engineer Rayme Vinson, as he began to block out the controls for the game that would become Titanfall. He had loaded up Halo, the second level, and played its first encounter over and over again, killing off all the line apart from a single grunt. Then I could dance around him and see what Bungie did, he says, noting how it deals with aim assist, and how its stable view as you walk gets across a sense of Master Chief's indomitability. The team did not adopt all Halo's lessons, by any means. For instance, Titanfall has viewbot to communicate an awareness of physical motion, but they wanted it to maintain some of Halo's steadiness. Intuiting from what they did, it seemed they had a big focus on making it so players could shoot the bad guys as easily as possible and not get motion sick. And not getting motion sick became a big part of Titanfall. Says multiplayer design lead Todd Alderman. Motion sickness in first-person games is complex and subjective. But Respawn found that when they added a viewbob, but kept the crosshair fixed to the center of the screen, it would feel like the player character was constantly looking left, right, causing some players to feel nauseous. I think a big thing that causes motion sickness is a disconnect between what you are seeing on screen and what you are trying to do, says programmer-led software engineer on Haggerty. Any time we move the view without your input, that can cause motion sickness. Alongside these fundamentals, Respawn also started to develop Titanfall's emblematic nauseous